All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, the Ravens have made another signing. That is two signings they've made on the second day of free agency. Pretty good. Earlier today, they made a signing for Marcus Williams on a huge splash play, man. I didn't expect them to get him. They got him. 5 years, $70 million. That's 14 a year. Did not expect that to happen, but that was a great signing. You bring in a playmaking safety, which is something we've needed for quite some time. So he's going to be right there in the secondary with Chuck Clark, Marlon Humphrey, and Marcus Peters. They make that move earlier on, but obviously they weren't done because there are other aspects that they needed to focus on in free agency. One being the offensive line. And, well, they went out there and got somebody to help out. They signed offensive tackle Morgan Moses to a 3-year deal worth $15 million. That's $5 million a year, folks. Pretty solid deal. This guy is a good player. Obviously, he's taking over that right tackle position that Villanueva was holding up. I'm not going to lie. This guy right here is already an upgrade from Villanueva. The positives I could say about Morgan, well, really, in terms of my knowledge, the only thing I know about him is that he used to play for Washington. And when he was in Washington, he wasn't elite, but he was consistent and he was durable. He did his job. And that's all I'm asking for. That's the positives he's going to bring to Baltimore. This guy hasn't missed a game since 2014, which I believe was his rookie season. So he hasn't missed a game since 2014. He's been durable throughout his career. He's been consistent throughout his career, and he's just been a solid player. That's all you can really ask for. He's not a player that's going to pop out. He's a player that goes out there, does his job, and does his job consistently. Last season, he only had 3 total penalties and 4 sacks given up. Also positive, 0. I repeat, 0 holding call penalties last season. So that is something huge, man. Our offensive line loves to hold. This guy had 0 of those penalties. 0. 3 total penalties last year and 4 total sacks given up. Yeah, I'll take him. That's definitely an upgrade from Villanueva. So he's going to come in, fill in that right tackle position, and at this point, I could say you're starting to get to where you want to get to with that offensive line. I still think they're going to address it in the draft in terms of adding depth there because, you want to have at least one veteran and one nice pick that you can develop for that position. Because I believe Moses is 31 years old. So, this deal, by the time he's done, he's going to be 34 when this deal is over if he's here for the 3 years. And then, 34-year-old right tackle. Don't know how well he's going to play at that stage. So, you definitely want to continue to add there. So, they're definitely going to address that in the draft, most likely. But they still got other aspects they got to address, one being the center position. Hopefully, they can do that here in free agency. I mentioned one earlier because the Browns did release him. Hopefully, they can pick him up. But, adding Moses, this guy is going to be a great addition. Already, our offensive line has upgraded. What was I about to say? I don't know. But already our offensive line has upgraded. Oh, I was about to say already this guy is an upgrade from Villanueva. Therefore, the offensive line has massively upgraded. That's how bad Villanueva was last season. But it is what it is. So, the offensive line has upgraded now. Moses isn't a huge upgrade in terms of the overall of the offensive line, but he's definitely a huge upgrade compared to what Villanueva gave us last year. So, he's going to come here, very durable, very consistent. If there's anything we can speak on that he's not the best at, it's pass protection. It's not like he's terrible, he's more so average. So he's solid at pass protection, but when it comes to run blocking, he's really good at that. So he's a really good run blocker, a solid pass blocker, consistent, and durable. We'll take that. We will take that. Not to mention, he doesn't cause a lot of penalties. That is what we need. So this guy is definitely a great addition to the offensive line. Still got to figure out that center position. It'd be nice to get a left guard, but I think that's something they might address in the draft. Center position, though, free agency, it's still there. And of course, I'm still keeping it on the table, trying to get a pass rusher. Za'Darius Smith's still out there. Obviously, reports have been coming out about the Ravens talking or at least considering Za'Darius Smith. So I still think that's a chance. There's a chance that we could get Za'Darius, but I don't know. I just feel like at this point, pass rushing and the offensive line are your two most focused aspects during free agency, and you've already hit on one. So, if you can get a center, you will be really good. You will be really set for the draft. I feel at this point, if Baltimore can get a center in free agency, which there are centers available, if you can get a center right now in free agency, you're set for that area. And at that point, focus on the draft for the offensive line. Like in terms of free agency, you can go for a pass rusher, maybe try to pick up something else, maybe a linebacker, I don't know. But in terms of free agency, if we can get a center, I think our offensive line in terms of free agency will be set. And at that point, you look towards the draft to add depth on the offensive line. In terms of the front seven, yeah, pass rusher. I still think you can add a pass rusher. And I feel like that's the next step. I don't think, Baltimore's going to look to go towards the linebacking situation. I would love a Bobby Wagner, but I don't think they're going to go at this point. With how much money we're going to have in the cap, I just don't think they're going to go that direction. I think at this point, they're really focused on getting a pass rusher and fixing up this offensive line. They got the playmaking safety they needed because last year we could not do anything with that. When Marcus Peters went down before the season, we already knew we were going to struggle to generate turnovers, but my God, it was bad. So many drop picks last season. So they had to fix that part up. They said, we got to get somebody. If there's somebody that's young and available, we got to take him. Williams was available. They made a deal that was fantastic. So they switched their gears from that, fixing that aspect, to now going to the offensive line. You've added the right tackle to take the place that Villanueva was holding up, and now you just need to focus on getting a center, and at that point, leave the rest to the draft because you can add depth there. We still have Jawan James, who will be back next season. He'll be available. He'll be healthy at this point, completely healthy. Ronnie Stanley hopefully will be healthy by, training camp next season, so we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, if you can get a center, the offensive line is pretty much set in terms of making any deals in free agency. I wouldn't mind adding another piece in free agency, but I think at that point, you can look towards the draft with the offensive line. Once you can get a center, then you could probably switch to a pass rusher. Or if you can get Za'Darius Smith somehow, take him, and then at that point, get a center. So free agency is looking nice. Obviously, I know there's some other picks people want to see the Ravens get. I'm sure they want to see us add another receiver because there are some great free agent receivers here. I just don't think Baltimore is going for any of them because I don't even think we're going to have the cap for that. But yeah, you fixed up the safety position and added a great playmaking safety there. And now you fixed up that right tackle position by adding a really solid, consistent, and durable right tackle. Next up, you got to fix that center position, and you got to see if you can add a pass rusher. If you can do these two things right now in free agency, at that point, you can pretty much head into the draft in a pretty good position. Speaking of that, I believe we also got a couple comp picks for the old Yannick Ngakoue and Matthew Judon situation. So, yeah, I think we got 2 fourth-round picks for that. So, I think with that, we total to about 10 draft picks we're taking into this year's draft. And out of those 10 draft picks, 8 or 9 of them, I believe, are within the first 4 rounds. So, yeah, Baltimore is looking to do damage with these draft picks. Obviously, you can use those picks in the trade if you want to, but I don't think Baltimore's going to do that. But, yeah, we're in a pretty good position, Getting a playmaking safety, needed that. Picking up a really solid, durable, and consistent right tackle to fill in that spot that's been really bad over the past year thanks to Villanueva. Handle that situation. That's good. Now all you really need is to get a center and a pass rusher, and you're in a pretty good position. Anything else is just, hey, that's just extra, and it'll be welcomed. But we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, that's all I got to say for this one. That's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.